Continuing our pursuit for alligator eggs, a day in the marsh also provides a lesson in the challenges of navigating the industry.
I've been on airboat as long as I can remember. I tell people these alligators to us and to our family are like dogs and cats to most people. That's what we were raised doing. Way back in the day, it was a challenge to find this. My grandpa and everybody else back then, my uncles would just ride in the swamps at home. You ride around and they got really good at it. Well, as the industry grew and as we got bigger in it, we can pick up 8,000 to 10,000 eggs in a day. What we do when we get to the nest, first thing, you have to be really careful when you open it, because the thing with the alligator nest, if you turn it over from the way she had it and when it started to grow these bands, we call it, that's how we tell if the egg is alive. But it's really important, however you find them in that nest, to keep them the same way when you transfer them. If not, it'll kill them. We try to use as much natural grass as we can from the mom's nest. We'll put it in there and just kind of secure them where they don't move around a lot. But she'll come back, she'll rework the nest. I've actually seen them on years that it was dry, carry water up to the nest in her mouth. Their husbandry skills are better than ours most of the time.
That's pretty good parents.
They really, really are. Well, we mark the top of them just in case there's any kind of deal, on the road or in transport or while we're setting them where they get turned a little. We'll be able to know which side was up and we can turn them back.
Much like managing cattle, chickens, or any other livestock, ranchers find similar passions when harvesting alligators.
It's almost like livestock. We bring them in and it's actually called Alligator Ranching because we get the eggs from somewhere else, and we ranch them just like livestock. We go in there, they're looked at every day. We feed them twice a day. We have to keep our hand on what's going on with them, and we have to raise a quality product or we don't make any money. We can't feed our family. But also we take the responsibility of having that wild animal in captivity very seriously. We use every single part that we can, and we're careful not to waste anything.
This is the first time I got to actually participate in the egg collection. I tell you, it's fascinating, and one of the most impressive things is the way that they use technology today to go up in the helicopter with a GPS, identify where those nests are, and then pinpoint the airboat to get there for the collection part.
But we still not reinventing the wheel. You still got to find the nest, you got to go to it, you got to talk sweet to mama, rub her behind the ear and get the eggs. Tell from the brownish color they've been underwater. This nest was here before, but these eggs, the bands are still consistent on all of them, and they're consistent with what we've been picking up.
In theory, you want to pick up every egg that you can, because in the wild, the baby alligators are going to be eaten. When we first started, we estimated that of all the eggs that are laid out there, 17% might make it to adulthood. So that means 83% of the eggs are going to be part of the food chain.
Just from the general look of this nest, what would you say about the eggs as far as how many you'd expect and how good they might be?
I'd expect, it seems like an older gator because you can see from the green growth in it, this nest has been here a little while. She's worked it, but you also see the green grass on top that's not attached, it's not growing. That means she's reworked it lately. She got this nest built really early from the way the vegetation's growing back in it, and she came back and reworked it. She's just a good mama, She's come back a few times since then and reworked it, and she's protecting her babies.
Let's hope she ain't protecting them while my head's down.
Hopefully she's out making groceries. You know, we get our eggs from out here, yes, we stock our farms with them, and we're so grateful, but also through the return policy, the program through the state, we bring alligators back out here. So in essence, we're helping. You know, it's just, like I said, the sustainability of our industry depends on these alligators. So we're kind of, you know, it's a hand-in-hand deal, but we absolutely could not do it without the landowners.
We have an overabundance of alligators. Our farmer hatches typically about 90% of those eggs. So if we pick up 50,000, we're going to hatch 45,000 little gators. And we're going to return close to 4,500 alligators every year. Consequently, in the wild season, we were permitted for 685 gators to remove. So if you start to do the math, if you put back 4,500 and you only take out 700, sooner or later you wind up with more alligators than you have habitat for. And I think we're getting pretty close to that right now.
Nobody's been able to duplicate a decent hatch rate in captivity. So it takes landowners like Delacroix Corporation and like some of the other big landowners all the way across the state who cooperate with us, and through our program, the sustainability of the alligator species has been remarkable.
The alligator is probably one of the biggest conservation comeback stories in the history of North America. I can remember a time when you hardly saw an alligator. They were on an endangered species list, and then they went into a very forceful and impressive program to not only protect the ones that were there, but to also exacerbate the reproductive process to where they replenish the species. And this going out and collecting eggs, bringing them in until they hatch and grow to a size where they're past the peak of predation, it's just been a wonderful impact on alligators. There is no shortage. And as anybody knows that's from Louisiana, there is nothing anybody from outside Louisiana wants to see more than a live alligator, especially in its natural habitat.
Yeah, you know, the alligator industry, not only for the farmers, and you know, and there's also people out there who just collect eggs, who have relationships with these landowners, and they make money for their family off of it. You know, it's a huge revenue for Louisiana, but not only that, it's a revenue for sport fishermen, because Louisiana now has sport tags available in several different places, but the state's then able to sell a license and sell all this stuff, you know, and people come in from out of state to stay in our hotels, they eat at our restaurants, you know, and it just brings so much more revenue into the state. And there's so much awareness to this program that we're really proud of. The program's actually been used worldwide as a model for sustainability.